Hey guys, my name is John Clarke, licensed counselor, group practice owner, and a guide for therapists trying to build a better business without all the overwhelm. And in this video, I want to talk a little bit, kind of open-endedly, about creating a side hustle or additional revenue streams or passive income, for that matter, as a therapist in private practice. So let's just get into it, and I'm just going to kind of talk off the top of my head about this. So right off the bat, I see a lot of therapists who let me say this first. Therapy and delivering a one-to-one service is the least scalable business out there. Scalable meaning, well, you can't scale it beyond yourself. You can, and we'll talk about some of those ways, but in general, any service-based business is not scalable. And I think most therapists, they hit their own scaling issues very soon into private practice. Some folks, their goal is hit 20 clients. They hit 20 clients and they go, I can't see any more than that. I'll be burnt out, exhausted, but I also can't make much more money, if I can only see 20 clients a week. So what do I do? Well, so if individual therapy is the least scalable thing that we can do, then what's the next most scalable? Well, to me, it's running groups. And I've never really run many groups in my life or my practice, but I see clinicians doing it. I've helped clinicians do it. And if you can do it, great. It's more scalable than individual therapy because your hourly rate goes up quite a bit. So that's a good thing. On the other hand, there's a lot of back-end work, there's a lot of admin, scheduling, you've got to do billing for all those clients, you got to chase people down, etc. But it is more scalable than individual therapy. So next, I think it's probably workshops, trainings, stuff like that, workshops, couples workshops, intensives, etc., where you can charge a whole lot more and make a bunch of money in a day or two, or in one day, whatever it is. That's more scalable. You go from one-to-one to one-to-many. Okay, so from there, we want to think about, the next step would probably be group practice, right? And I think too many therapists, they jump into group practice when they're not ready. They do it for the wrong reasons. They do it just because they want to make more money. And then what they find is they don't like being a boss. They don't like being a manager. They don't like setting up payroll and doing HR stuff and supervising and all this stuff. And they don't like, hearing from their clinicians at 8:30 at night that the toilet paper's out and the toilet has overflowed and whatever. So I think too many therapists jump into group practice ownership without a plan to scale, without an idea of scale, and they end up making less money and working more. That has really shocked me lately. I've met a bunch of group practice owners who, since being in group practice, they make a lot less than they did as solo practitioners, and they work way more and they have way more stress. That is terrible. That is a bad situation that you do not want to be in. So for the sake of the argument, every therapist wants to make more money, and they want additional revenue. A lot of us want passive revenue, passive income. But most therapists don't really know what this takes or what this entails, and they don't know how to do it. They just want it. They just want to sell a product or a course or an idea or a podcast or a thing, and they don't really know how to get there. So how do you get there? Well, I would say at this point, there's a couple of different ways you could go. One way you could go is beyond your therapy work, you could build what is essentially another brand where you build an audience. You build a big enough audience, hundreds, ideally thousands of people, thousands of your of your audience, of your target audience. And then at some point, by building that audience and that platform, you offer something or you sell something. That's kind of the tried and true method that a lot of folks will follow. Now, keep in mind, it takes a lot of time to build something like that. It can take a year, it can take 2 years, it can take more to build a meaningful audience. I think a good rule of thumb is out of your audience, generally between 3 to 5% will actually buy something. So if you have 100 people who listen to your podcast, and every time you do an episode you say, buy my thing or buy my course or do coaching with me, you can bet that only 3 or 5 of those people might do so. So if you put all this time and energy into building a course or a product or something, and then you pitch it to your 100 listeners, well, just keep in mind that there's probably going to be about 3 or 5 people that actually buy what you have. You should keep that in mind when it comes to planning an additional revenue stream, whatever it is. I think in general, the way to do it nowadays, and what is most scalable, is is a course, an online training program, something that you can sell over and over again that doesn't commit you to doing one-to-one and that is truly scalable and that can make you a bunch of money in a single sale. I don't think it's worth it for all these therapists who are doing courses that they sell them for $20 or $50 or $100 or even $200. I just don't think that's going to meaningfully advance your business, your income, and your life forward. I think you have to go for kind of higher ticket programs that really solve a big problem for people. And until you do that, you'll be stuck really chasing small fish and trying to figure out how do I make just a little bit more money as a therapist in private practice versus how do I make a lot more money as a therapist in private practice and blow my income out of the water. I think that's what most therapists really want to do, but they go into it and they don't have a plan. They have an idea for a business or product or something and they don't have a plan for it, and better yet, they haven't even figured out if people want it or not. I found this out the hard way. 2 years ago, I spent like 3 months during a summer building 2 online courses, and no one ever heard about them because they never sold. People didn't actually need them. I just thought they needed them. So not only did it not meet a need for people, but I, of course, didn't have a marketing plan for it. I didn't really have a following at the time. Shame on me. So I screwed that up, but I learned. I learned some really big lessons there, and I'll never make those mistakes again. So if you are going to build something new, understand what it takes and understand that you'll need to build some sort of following or some sort of audience, and that's probably going to involve organic and paid attraction methods. And then you're going to have to make sure that you're actually delivering something that people want. You can't just throw more crap out there into the universe, especially in this online space. It's not enough just to be throwing something out there that's already out there. That's not going to really make a meaningful contribution to our industry or to what's currently out there. So I really encourage you to think about that, is to think deeply and think hard about what's missing in my industry and what's a big problem and how can I solve that problem and how can I get paid a really good amount for it, a really impressive amount for it. If you think about those things, I think you'll be on your way to developing a really meaningful addition to your current business, to your current private practice, and it's going to really help help you go beyond these the limitations that we have as therapists who are mostly limited to sitting across from a client and just making money in those sessions. So the good news is it's easier than ever to make money online now. The bad news is it's hard because there's so many people doing it and there's so much competition. But the good news, I'll sandwich it with good news, is that that's going to push you to do it better, to make more meaningful contributions, to develop better services, products, ideas, etc., and then to eventually get them out there into the marketplace and start to sell them and start to make some money. Yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope this was helpful. As always, like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like, and you can always head to thejohnclarke.com to get in touch and learn more about working with me. That's thejohnclarke.com to learn more and learn more about working with me and to get in touch. I look forward to hearing from you soon, and thanks for watching this video. See ya.